I say change, you say vote. Change, vote, change, vote. I say change, you say vote. Change, vote, change, vote. I say change, you say vote. Change, vote, change, vote. I say wrong, you say vote. Wrong, 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 wrong. Hello, Hey. All right. Good afternoon. We are here in the beautiful Bronx. Right across the street from an early voting location. Yes! Citizens are lined up to exercise their right to vote. Yes! I'm Susan Lerner from Comic-Con, New York, and Election Protection, the largest national nonpartisan voter assistance program, putting hundreds of volunteers all around New York and around the state to help people vote. And here today to let New Yorkers know you have 9 days of early voting. Early voting starts today and goes all the way through next Sunday, November 1. Yes. So, exercise your right to vote. Pick the time that is convenient for you to vote. Pick a Saturday and you have time. There's going to be a line. So many citizens are so excited about voting. That might take a little extra time, but on Saturday, pick the time that's convenient for you to early vote. You don't have to worry about picking up your kids from school. You don't have to worry about getting to work. You don't have to worry about helping an elder. You pick the time that's convenient for you. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Early voting. We now have it in New York, and we are here with so many excited New Yorkers. We kicked it off to make sure that good zone. This is the opportunity to make their voices heard in this amazingly important election. And we are accompanied by elected officials here. Be sure the word is out. And advocates all here. Let New Yorkers know. Let the Bronx know. Bronx, come out and early vote. And I am delighted to introduce the New York Attorney General, Ms. James. Thank you so much. I say Bronx, you say vote. Bronx. Vote. Bronx. Vote. I say Bronx, you say vote. Bronx. Vote. Bronx. Vote. Today is early voting day. Today is the beginning of change. It's important that everyone exercise their most fundamental right, and that is the right to vote. As the Attorney General of the state of New York, I can assure you, we are looking out for any individuals who think that they're going to suppress the vote in the Bronx. They got another thing coming. We are out here, and we, in the Office of Attorney General, we have a voter initiative protecting the right to vote. Any individuals with any problems anywhere in the state of New York can call our office at 1-800-771-7755. We've got an army of lawyers and non-lawyers alike who will man the phones and answer any of your questions. We've got individuals at polling sites. We're coordinating with law enforcement to make sure that every vote is counted. So starting today, make sure you got a plan. Make sure your phone is charged up. Make sure you got a good book. Make sure you got water. Make sure you got comfortable shoes. Make sure you vote. I need students. I need young people. I need old people. I need boomers. I need Latinx. I need everyone to come out and vote today. Why? Because there is so much on the line. So much on the line. Our basic rights and our basic value are on the line. And what we want here in the Bronx and in the state of New York is to return to some degree of normalcy. Yes. And so, what is on the ballot? Affordable Care Act is on the ballot. The rights of women are on the ballot. The rights of LGBTQ communities are on the ballot. Criminal justice reform is on the ballot. Environmental protection is on the ballot. Voting rights is on the ballot. And And the future of generations to come is on the ballot. So if you believe in change and you believe that enough is enough, then exercise the right to vote. Do it in honor of John Lewis. Do it in honor of the ancestors. Yes! Because you have a responsibility and a duty to vote. 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 I say Bronx, you say vote. Bronx. Vote. Bronx. Vote. We're going to vote. I'm ready. Yes. Yes. And I'm also delighted that we are joined today by the councilwoman for this very district. What's up, everyone? Good morning. Good morning. We are here in the Boogie Down Bronx, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Our Attorney General, Letitia James, Susan Lerner and Clement Cause, and the entire team of Justice Vote. So we are here. We are here standing in solidarity as we begin early voting in the state of New York. Today, over the next 8 days, we will have early voting in 17 sites across the borough of the Bronx. This is the first time that we have had a presidential election during early voting. And so we want to make sure that everyone understands the importance of voting, because there is too much at stake. And you know what? Everything is on the line. Healthcare, criminal justice reform, affordable housing, supporting our children, seniors, LGBTQ New Yorkers, environmental justice, climate change, economic development. Everything is on the line. And so it has been encouraging traveling this morning at all of the polling sites right here at the Bronx County Courthouse. The line is around the corner. The line is around the corner. That is exactly what we need right now to make sure that everyone is encouraged. Our ancestors died for the fundamental right to vote. And we are going to exercise this basic fundamental right. We are going to remind those who have been formally incarcerated. We are going to remind every New Yorker that's been disenfranchised or marginalized that you have the right to vote. We are here because too many times our communities have been marginalized, and that is why we are out here standing in solidarity with them. These lines are a reflection of hard work, of dedication, of most of all, sacrifice. Like the Honorable John Lewis, like the Honorable RGB, everyone that has come before us that has laid the groundwork so that we can be here. So the 17 sites right here in the Bronx County Courthouse, Andrew Friedman Home, Claremont Neighborhood Center. These are all sites that will be open starting today through next Sunday, November 1st. And then on Tuesday, November 3rd, that is election day when we bring this home, when we make sure that we come out in huge numbers. I just met a voter on the line, a Mexican-American immigrant who became a citizen, and this was his Those are exactly the stories we want to hear from all of our residents, undocumented New Yorkers, citizens alike from all backgrounds. We may come from different places and different spaces, but we are united like never before. Because we care about the future of our city, our state, and this country. And this federal government has failed us. And we have got to do better. We have got to demand better. And we have got to hold everyone accountable. So that's what voting is about. It is about hope. It is about opportunity. It is about a new journey and a new chapter of leadership. So let's go out and vote like everything matters, because everything matters. Thank you, guys. Advocates for young voters. So we are going to hear from Vivian Nixon from Justice Votes. When I say justice, you say vote. Justice. Vote. Justice. Vote. Justice. Vote. Yes. Justice means exercising your right to vote. Justice Votes is a project of college and community fellowship, an organization working with formerly incarcerated women to get college degrees and become civically engaged. This is our civic engagement project. My name is Vivian Nixon, and I am here to tell you that voting is personal to me. On the day I found out from the district attorney of Nassau County that I was going to be incarcerated, I spoke to my mother, 1997, and I thought she was upset and crying because she would miss me, or because she thought prison would be a dangerous place. The first thing that came out of her mouth was, "Will you ever be able to vote again?" Wow. 20 years later, when I was packing up my mother's home after she passed away, I had been home from prison for 6 years. And I was going through her things when I found a tiny card. Looked like a Social Security card. It was old, it was torn, it was worn. You could barely read what was on it. And what it was a voter registration card. The very first one she got when she was 21 years old. On her birthday, she went and registered to vote. I still have that card today. And every time I look at it, I understand that she believed in the right to vote because she had a grandmother who couldn't vote. She had a great-grandmother who couldn't vote. That down through our history, our people have been marginalized and sidelined and locked out of this democracy. And they did it because they could. Because as slaves, we were not considered citizens. And during Jim Crow, the South put in laws, polling taxes, and literacy tests to keep us from the polls. And then we had decades of mass incarceration, where our communities were criminalized and sent to prison for things that are really social problems, not crime problems. Come on, Vivian. And some states decided that, well, we're never going to let these people vote again. And we will not let our rights as citizens be taken from us. We will vote in large numbers. 70 million people in America with criminal records. Imagine if we all voted. 64 million out of that 70 can legally vote. Imagine if all 64 million voted. We could get back the rights for the other 6 million. We are going to become a force to be reckoned with in the United States. When I say justice, you say vote. Justice. Vote. I'm going to turn it over now to our community organizer at College and Community Fellowship, my friend, my mentee, Stephen Lee.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, community. I'm feeling the energy. So this will be my first time voting for the president after my incarceration. And I know what it is to be treated like a second-class citizen and expect of me to be a productive member of society, and the narrative that they always, the same narrative when I'm being treated less than and ignored. As Vivian said, there are social maladies in place. There are exclusionary policies, historically and systemically, keeping us out. to our communities? Who is teaching us and educating us about being informed, about what candidates are going to push for our issues? This is a right and a civic duty.
That's right.
Yes.
We have nothing to lose but our chains. This is about our liberty. This is about our freedom. This is about us coming into the community in solidarity and educating one another. Where systems have failed to do, we can do it as a community. It is very important that we don't shame and guilt one another when we can't vote. Because you still hold power.
Yes.
And when I was not able to vote, I used to go in the building where my grandma used to live, and I used to gather the other ladies and basically say, you have to vote for me because I can. And that is claiming your power. Voter suppression is real.
Yes, it is.
And it's part of the legacies of exclusion. But as persistent as it is, we are informed. And we will not let any tactics of intimidation deter us from those polls. Our power, our vote. Our power, our vote. Our power, our vote. Our power, our vote.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. 70 million strong. And we're getting stronger. Believe that. And I want to come thank you for coming, cause.
Thank you, Partners in Justice Vote, for being out here to inform the community. People want to know where they're assigned to early vote. You can get that information on the table.
That's right.
We are so proud to be your partners in the Let New York Vote Coalition. And finally, we are going to hear from Brianna C. from Generation Vote, our partners in the Let New York Vote Youth Working Group.
Generation Vote.
Oh man, I am speechless. How I follow that?
Do your thing, sis.
So show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like in the Bronx. What's up?
Yes.
So I don't know if y'all have heard. The young people across the country are turning out to early vote in potentially record numbers. People that look like me. So I am so excited to see all of these young New Yorkers who are out here today, telling our friends, telling our families to get out and early vote. I'm here today to share with all of you how much it means to me personally to see all of you out here celebrating early voting in New York. I remember in 2016, my first presidential election ever, having to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go cast my ballot before my exams, before my classes, and before my job at a local restaurant. I remember showing up to the local restaurant later that day and being told by my coworkers that they were so upset that they could not vote in that presidential election, a life-changing election, because they had to go to work, because they had to drop off their kids to school. So I learned that states across the country had early voting for decades, and that states that were banning children for voter suppression or pointing to New York at the time for not having early voting, I was mad as a New Yorker. And so that's why I joined thousands
of New Yorkers with common cause New York and Let New York Vote, who stepped up and worked with our elected officials to say enough is enough, let New York vote. And we rallied, we lobbied, we advocated together, and we brought early voting to New York. So you do not have to choose. Exactly. You do not have to choose between your jobs, between your schools. You can vote early in the next 9 days. So when you march to the polls with us today and throughout the week, I want you to know that it was because of everyday New Yorkers like this, like us, who fought to bring early voting to us. And our fight for early voting is just a stop on our journey for voting rights for everyone in this country, for every eligible voter in this country. We stand on the shoulders of giants that were mentioned earlier: John Lewis, Ida B. Wells, Ming Lee. And so when you vote early, vote for the New Yorkers who stood up for your rights, or vote for my future, for my generation's future, and vote for your community. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so are all of our speakers? Okay, any questions? If not? Yes, yep, okay.
Be a little more specific. You're telling us about preventing expressing or fraud. Can you give us some specific measures that you as the AG are doing to prevent and make sure people like are doing early voting are protected?
So with the Office of Attorney General, we've already received complaints from individuals who have been receiving emails and robocalls. The robocalls basically are telling immigrants or individuals who are now registered and who are now been naturalized that ICE is coming after them. There are other individuals who have said if you are an anti-vaxxer, if you don't believe in vaccinations, that you will be forced to have vaccinations if you vote. These are the types of robocalls that are going out all throughout New York City and New York State. We also have received complaints from individuals who have received ballots that are already filled out. We're investigating that as well. We have a voter protection initiative. Again, an army of attorneys who are manning the phone. In addition to Common Cause, our number is 1-800-771-7755. We've also issued guidance letters to law enforcement and to other organizations. And with Common Cause and a number of organizations, we've been training lawyers and non-lawyers alike. And the message is this: if you seek to engage in voter suppression or voter intimidation, we're coming after you. It won't be tolerated in New York.
Can you tell us specifically about your teamwork with the NYPD?
So we sent out guidance letters to law enforcement all throughout the state of New York, and there will be law enforcement officers protecting individuals' right to vote. Individuals who, again, engage in suppression or intimidation will not be tolerated. You cannot bring guns to the poll sites. You cannot go into the poll sites without a poll inspection certificate and ask individuals whether or not they have an identification or who they're voting for. These types of measures and others, we've again sent advisories to law enforcement and to other organizations on the ground in anticipation of any problems.
What are the certain things that you're telling them to look for?
To look for individuals who are asking questions of voters online, who are asking for identification, who are asking who they are voting for, and just standing there in an intimidating stance with guns on their hips. It will not be tolerated in New York. It's illegal.
Do you know if there's any like a certain, I guess, law that might be specific to that?
We don't have any specific information. There's one complaint, a few complaints that we've received with regards to an organized effort in upstate.
Going live at the Bronx.
Satan behind you. I'm Satan right there.
So in upstate New York, we have received information in one particular county of a militia that is having a rally today outside of a polling site. And we are investigating that allegation, and we've notified local law enforcement, and we're working with state police.
Can you tell us what county?
Montgomery County.